Okay, video number 5 in our STØD series. Again, a short video, this time on composite words and STØD. Welcome back to Mixed Languages. I am Mick, and well, composite words, STØD. It's fairly simple. It's actually not that simple. There are actually a lot of specific rules. If you really want to break it down perfectly, you have to look at all kinds of rules and all kinds of exceptions. But let's keep it simple. And let's say that generally the STØD is going to disappear in the first word in a composite word. Let's look at some examples. In the last video, we were talking about prepositions. So let's catch up where we left. So på, right? We talked about på and på. På is the normal form isolated. If we now combine this with something else and make a composite word, we are gonna lose the STØD. For example, in påklædt. Påklædt. Påklædt is an adjective and it means fully dressed, right? Somebody who has clothes on. Påklædt. På. Påklædt. You see the STØD goes away. We don't say påklædt or påklædt. We say påklædt. And also the vowel actually changes here in the composite word. The å turns into an å, på, påklædt. Sentence. På stranden er man normalt ikke fuldt påklædt. På stranden er man normalt ikke fuldt påklædt. Other example could be, for example, toårig. Toårig. En toårig pige, a girl of age 2, right? Toårig, no STØD. Stor by. Storby. Stor by. STØD in stor. STØD in by, actually. And that's a very normal thing. When we have adjective and noun, we have stress in both parts, right? We stress the stor and we stress the by. Stor by, which doesn't happen here. Storby. Storby. Which part do we stress here? We stress mostly only the first part. Storby. Right? We don't say storby. We say storby. So there's more stress on the stor, and the stress is gone. The STØD is gone. Right? Storby. Okay. This also happens in, for example, små kager, småkager. Små kager, small cakes. Småkager, cookies. Two different things. Let's now look at the following word here. Land. Okay, land has STØD. We talked about that in the very first video. Land is a word that ends in nd. They, I think, always have STØD, as far as I'm concerned. Land. Landmand. Landman. Landman is a farmer. Somebody who works in the land, kind of. Right? So land, STØD. Landman, no STØD. So the word that ends in nd here, land, loses its STØD when it's a composite word. When it's the first part of the composite word. Landman. But now let's look at the next word here. Land. Landsman. Landsman. Landsman is a compatriot. So it's if I go somewhere in the world and I meet a Dane, this Dane is my landsman. He's from the same country as I am. Landsman. And here the S, the linking S, right? This often happens that S's are put in between two words to link them together to make a composite word. And the S here makes us have STØD, which very often happens when we have S in this way. So the first part will not lose its STØD. Landsman. Another letter we often use when we link two words is an E. For example, hund. Hundehus. Hund. Hundehus. Here we lose the STØD, right? Hundehus is the word that ends in an E. So we lose the STØD. Hundehus. Alright, that was a short video on composite words and STØD. I hope it was helpful for you. Again, what I always say, right? I can give you all kinds of rules here. You might understand them. You might then not be able to use them correctly, right? Because when we speak a language that we haven't practiced enough or not heard enough, we might not remember those rules, which is totally normal. So what I want you to do is to focus in the future. Whenever you see a composite word, for example, you try to focus, okay, is there STØD, is there not STØD? And then you can kind of see, okay, the rules I just gave you, do they make sense? And as I said, there are a lot of exceptions. So, right, you're going to see some things that don't fit exactly, but generally the rules I gave you are going to work. So focus in the future on all of the topics of these different videos of the STØD. Focus. Build your own database in your head, in your own mind. You know, Danish natives of any language, they learn their native language in a, you know, they get the data, listening to the language, being corrected when they speak, and then they build their own rules. They don't need somebody sitting here and telling them the rule, because they know the rules intuitively. And that's the beauty of the brain. The brain is super good at analyzing things. But I'm giving you these rules here because for adults, it often helps to hear them, to understand it cognitively. Okay? If you think the video deserves it, give it a like. And we'll move on to the next and the final video in the series of the STØD, which is about verbs. Vi ses.